Shalom, 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 shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Komalak Yahushai. This is Brother Zamran, Watchman for Israel, Seattle, coming live right now with another cold cut, another brief lesson to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? You guys are God's chosen people, right? I want to say shalom to all the brothers who are on the highways and hedges, who are presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice throughout the tumultuous weather, in season, out of season, no matter what, doing the work to the Most High to hopefully make your calling and your election sure. I want to say shalom to you, brothers. I also want to say shalom to the mighty sisters who's in this truth, man, right? The Aqua, who are reverencing their households, being submissive to their husbands, operating in the spirit of our mighty foremothers, right? Like Sarah, right? Mary, Esther, right? Things of that nature. Hey, shalom to y'all. Also, I want to say shalom to all the brothers who may not be on the highways and hedges as of yet, right? But you're studying, you're doing everything that you possibly can do, right? To prepare your spirit in these last days, in these perilous times that we're living in, right? To get your spirit right so that you can become a living sacrifice as well. So shalom to y'all, right? So as you see the title, right? Destruction, right? Death and destruction. It's on its way. It's here. Death and destruction is here because it's all around you, man. And it's been going on for quite some time. But it's taking off at an all-time high right now because we are literally at the end of this thing. Everything has to come to an end. Nothing's going to last forever, right? You got mass shootings in California that are jumping off left and right. You have flooding that's going on in California that's jumping off left and right. Hey, we even got news of Turkey that's literally getting ready to leave NATO, right? Lord willing, probably in the next 6 months. All this is great news if you are a man in this truth. Let's just keep it real, right? It may not be great news for everybody, but for those of you who are being circumspect and who are watching and understand that these things have to happen in order for prophecy to be fulfilled, in order for the Most High to send his son Christ to come back, man, and redeem the Israelites. Hey, these are exciting times that we're living in, man, right? Let's get the book of Romans, chapter 9. Let's start at verse 21 through 22. And shalom to everybody that's on the chat, right? Love P is Hebrew daughter, Fat Man's Finding Chettle, right? And everybody else is going to be chiming in, right? Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 9. Let's kick it off with that. Romans chapter 9, verse 21, right? And it says, this is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 21. I'm going to read all the way through 22, right? Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So understand that the Most High Yahweh, he is that potter. And he has the power to form the clay, to form these vessels in any way, shape, form that he wants to. So all this death and destruction that we're seeing right now, right? All this stuff that we're seeing, and Salakia if it's freezing, you know what I'm saying? Salakia if it's freezing. I might have to change, you know what I'm saying? Switch to other Wi-Fi, man, right? But all the death and destruction that you're seeing right now that's being done by certain vessels, hey, the Lord formed them to be this way before the beginning, right? So when you're seeing the so-called white man, right, that's literally setting up all these wars, that's literally setting up all these weapons of mass destruction, right? These are vessels that the Most High God has created. And he created a vessel unto honor and a vessel unto dishonor. That vessel being unto honor is being the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, men, women, and children who decide to keep the commandments, man, who decide to return back to their heritage, who are striving to love the Most High God by keeping the commandments at the best of their ability. And then you have vessels of dishonor, which is literally going into Esau and all these other wicked nations that are not Israelites. That's why you're seeing all types of tumult. This is why that you're seeing rumors of wars. You're hearing rumors of wars. You're literally seeing earthquakes in diverse places, right? You're seeing mass destruction at an all-time high. Hey, this is the Most High that's doing that. Verse 22. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. So the vessel that's made unto dishonor was literally created and molded, right, to be fitted to destruction, which means that the vessels that the Most High made of human beings, right, that are of dishonor, their number one goal is to destroy. They were created to destroy nations. They were created to destroy kingdoms, and they were also created to be destroyed. So we have to ask ourselves in these last days, am I operating like a vessel of dishonor, or am I operating like a vessel of honor? Us as Israelites, we have to check our spirits, man, because, hey, stuff is turning up at an all-time high. You feel me? So we got to make sure that we are operating as that vessel of honor, right? Not operating like the vessel of dishonor. Thus said the Lord, right? Let's get the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 3, right? Bear with me, right? Let's go to the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 3. And it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So the Most High is literally sending sudden destruction. Hey, stuff's going to kick off. Something may happen tomorrow. Something may happen literally an hour from now. This is why it's our job as the men of the Lord to make sure that we're keeping watch for our nation of people. Because the Most High has literally put the spirit in certain brothers and sisters, man, right, to keep watch. Right. And if you're that brother that's keeping watch, man, right, you're not only keeping watch for your nation, but you're keeping watch for your own household, your wife, right, your children. So you have to pay attention to the things that are happening as far as wars, right, as far as who's separating from who's bombing who's doing mass shootings, right? What's hit with natural disasters, right? Which the Esau will call natural disasters. And really, these are just disasters that are created from the Most High, man. Right? I'm going to read this again. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, because that's what the so-called white man is saying, right? Things turn up, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's peace now, right? Or we got safety now, right? Or we created this, so guess what? It's safety. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You got the C-19, right? That's floating around here, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have no answers, but guess what? We got safety now. All you got to do is just take that jab of root. Guess what? We got extra doses. Take that Jabiru. The moment that not only our oppressors have that mindset, but even us as Israelites, what did the Lord say? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So it's like a woman that's literally pregnant, right? And let's just say she is set to have, a natural birth, a water birth, right? Or what they would call a VBAC, right? Not a C-section, because C-section births are actually scheduled, right? But if a woman is about to have a VBAC, right, or a natural water birth, right, or a natural birth, you know what I'm saying? Those contractions, right, come all of a sudden out of nowhere, right? Being in labor comes out of nowhere, right? I've literally seen it. You know what I'm saying? She'll literally, a woman can literally be 1 centimeter dilated, and then the next thing you know, 20 minutes later, she's 5 centimeters dilated, right? Then another 20 minutes later, she's damn near 10 centimeters dilated, man. And it comes suddenly, right? And the pain and the pain and the pain rises up, man. That's exactly how the Most High, right, says that he sends destruction, right? The moment that you think it's all peaceful, man, all hell breaks loose, man. Real talk, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 10, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 10, right? Let's start at verse 33. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. This has a huge impact on the reason why that the Most High is literally having to send disasters, having to send death and destruction upon Babylon the Great, because of the simple fact that the nation of people, right, which we know to be the Edomites, who have had the rulership and dominion of this earth for quite some time, based on Job 9:24, all they do is deny the Most High. All they do is deny the law, statutes, and commandments. They literally create laws that are literally contrary to the Most High, right? They come up with laws of homosexuality, making it legal, right? Same-sex marriage, right? A pedophilia is literally, and when you truly think about that, man, that's madness, man, right? They deny the Most High before men, right? So also will Christ deny, right, this wicked nation of Babylon before the Father, before Yahweh. Verse 34, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And these are the words of Christ. Don't think that Christ came to send peace. When Christ is coming back, it's not going to be a peaceful day. We're already getting the signs right now, which is why death and destruction is here, right? He came to send a sword. And you got to realize that our people have to realize that there is a sword dealing with wickedness that the Most High controls, and there is a sword on the right-hand side, right? Let's deal with that sword on the left-hand. Let's go to chapter 17, verse 13. And it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, right? So clearly it is literally praying to the Most High God, singing a song to the Most High God, and he's asking him, right, to arise, O Lord, disappoint him, right? So clearly we are talking about a certain man. Clearly this is being spoken of a certain nation of people. Cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right? And who is that wicked? Who's known as that wicked that represents a sword on the left-hand side of, of wickedness that was created by the Most High? This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 3. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, right? Edom, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, which they clearly did, right? After the 1400s, during the Dark Ages, when they were sent back to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, they did return and built the desolate places, right? And it says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So when you're dealing with the wicked, which is thy sword, like spoken about in Psalm 17 and 13, that's going into Esau as a nation of people, right? With Esau being that forefather. So this is the sword that we're looking to be delivered from. And the only way as Israelites that we're going to be delivered from this sword, death and destruction has to come about in all four corners of the earth, which is what we're seeing, right? So let's go back to Matthew chapter 10, right? And let's pick up from this, read 34 again. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And that sword that Christ is coming with is that sword, right? He's, first of all, the Most High is putting a spirit in the left-hand side, in these Edomites, other wicked nations, right? To have a spirit of wanting to go to war against each other, to have a spirit of wanting to literally operate in death and destruction, right? And all these are literal works of the Most High. We have to realize that, because let's go to the book of Isaiah, right? I mean, I haven't brought this out in a while, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, right? I want to say 45 and 7, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness, right? So you have the Most High who literally formed that light, right? That light not only dealing with physical light, like with the sun, right, with the moon and the stars, but he also created that light dealing with knowledge and wisdom that comes from the Most High God. And he also created darkness, right? He also created darkness, right? Dealing with the wisdom and knowledge on the left-hand side of wickedness, right? He says, I make peace, right? So it's up to the Most High when he's going to make peace, right? And right now is not a time for peace. Christ has to come first and bring a sword. So there's no time for peace as us, not only as Israelites, but just for all these other nations, and create evil. He creates evil, right? International continental ballistic missiles, ICBM missiles, right? That's evil, right? Weapons of mass destruction, that's evil, right? Mass shootings, that's evil, right? And the Most High is the one who creates that stuff, man. And how does he create this stuff? He has spirits that are on the left-hand side that are literally created for destruction. And then he has spirits on the right-hand side to bring people out of death, man, and bring them back to life, dealing with the Israelites. It says, I, the Lord, do all these things. So it's the Most High that's doing these things, right? But you know, our oppressors will sit there and they'll take the credit for this stuff, right? But this is the Most High that's doing this, man, right? Let me get a couple of more, then I'm gonna show you guys something, man. Let's go to the book of Micah, right? Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 2, and let's start at verse 10, right? Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10, and it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, man. So this place that we're living in, it doesn't matter where you're living at, right? You can be here in Babylon the Great, aka America. You can leave America, catch a flight, get your visa, right, and go become a citizen over there in Africa. You can leave here and go to damn China, right? You can leave here and go to damn Antarctica, man, right? You can go to Canada. You can go to Germany. Hey, it don't matter, right? Wherever you're at as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, this is not your rest, right? Because our rest is going to be in the kingdom of the Lord, right? Where the righteous is going to be in rulership and the earth is no longer going to mourn, right? Like brother, you can be in London, right? Like Brother Slim D said, man, you can literally be in London, right? Understand that this is not the place of your rest. Why does it say that? Because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Everywhere you go, this place is polluted, right? It's polluted through bloodshed, right? Through slavery, right? Robbery, murder. These are things we got to realize, man, right? And how is the Lord going to cleanse this polluted land, right? Let's get the classic. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33, right? Let's go to Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33, right? And it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. That's why this land is polluted. It's polluted with blood, man, right? And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that sheddeth. You see that? And we know, dealing with the wicked, they are the ones who have shed innocent blood everywhere they go. This is why the Most High created this vessel of dishonor that we read about in Romans to be fitted for destruction, right? This is why the Most High created this vessel of dishonor to be a cunning hunter, like spoken about in Genesis 25 and 27, dealing with Esau. And cunning means to achieve with deceit, which they've literally achieved and literally have set their mark in all four corners of the earth through deceit, right? Which is why that they are still able to benefit, right, off slavery, which we don't benefit off slavery. We haven't gotten 40 acres and a mule. This is not our place of rest, right? Let's get one more before I go into these mass shootings, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5. To deliver such an to deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man, right? Who the world calls Jesus. So we're asking to be delivered, right, from the destruction of the flesh, because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a huge abundance of, right? A destruction of the flesh, right? And what is the destruction of the flesh? Let me share my screen, right? Let's get into this, man. Let's get into it. Bear with me. Look at this right here, man. Right? You type in mass shootings in California this month. Just this month, right? 6th mass shooting in 13 days. Rocks, California, right? You had at least 3 people that were killed, 4 injured in the second mass shooting to erupt in Los Angeles County in 8 days, right? So in the span of 8 days, you had 2 mass shootings. What else to say? Right? 3 dead in upscale LA neighborhood in latest California mass shooting. Right? It don't even matter where you at no more. Nobody's safe no more. Right? You used to have like Jake and Eve, and they'll be like, well, you know, I made it out the hood. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Right? We moving on up to the east side in a luxury apartment in the sky. Right? Well, now those luxury apartments in the sky are getting shot the hell up, man. Right? Many mass shootings that's been going on in California. And why is this interesting? Because I'm from Cali. I'm from Oakland, right? California, right? Downtown East Oakland, California. And there's been shootings, you know what I'm saying, as far as me growing up. People get shot every single day, B. People get shot every day, B. Especially dealing with between our own people. But one thing that I can say coming up in Cali is that you didn't have a lot of shootings, right, in these like high profile neighborhoods that are literally, you know, nothing but rich folks, Edomites, you know what I'm saying? You may have a few Jakes, you know what I'm saying, Jakes and Eves in there, right? Few Israelites in there, right? That got a, you know, an awesome job, or they might be a celebrity or a thing of that nature, right? But this type of stuff it didn't really happen, right, in these type of neighborhoods. And now it's happening at an all-time high, right? It's happening at an all-time high, right? Let's get some images. Look at this, man. Right? We got images here, man. Right? Look at this. 3 killed, 4 hurt in LA shooting. The 6th California mass shooting. We're dealing with just this month, right? This month of January, right? 2023, according to Esau. When according to the Most High, hey, it's still 2022, right? It might be 2020, man. You know, Esau, he adds, you know, extra days. When the Lord said there's 360 days in a year, Esau says it's 365 days in a year. So imagine how long that's been, you know what I'm saying? Imagine how long that's been going on, right? Who knows what year it is right now, right? This is why, you know what I'm saying, like it's wicked to celebrate birthdays. This is why it's wicked to celebrate Esau's holidays, because they're just all false, man, right? Like, for instance, birthdays. If you was born on a certain day at a certain time, the next time you hit 2, you're really not 2, because it's not going to fall at the same time in the same day. You see what I'm saying? So you got to kind of look at this. So the end times really have been going on for quite some time, right? It says 3 killed, 4 injured, right? Look at Esau, man, right? Look at Esau. He's not used to this, man, right? This happens every day, B, in our neighborhoods, right? To the point that, hey, Jake and Eve are so accustomed to, our people getting shot down in our neighborhoods. They may not even do this, man. Like this Edomite right here, right, with the jeans, right, got their head down and things of that nature, right? Salakia if it's freezing, right? Salakia if it's freezing. Look at this, man. Look at this. This is called mass destruction. This is called death and destruction are here. You see that? Pretty soon you're going to have to get used to this right here. You're going to have to get used to literally Esau, right? But also dealing with these other nations, walking around in your neighborhood, man, with AR-15s, right? That's going to become the norm, right? Like, we got a map here, man. All right, let's look at mass shootings. All right, we got a map. Let's pull up this map. Let's look at this map right here. Let's look at this map. Look at this. Look at all the mass shootings that's happened in this month in the United Snakes of America, right? Hey, we had one over here in Washington, man, right where I'm at, and it looks like it's around the Seattle area, right? You had one in looks like it's around Portland, Oregon. Definitely had one in the Bay Area, right over here. Have one down here, you know what I'm saying, down here, you know what I'm saying, in LA, right? I don't know what this state is. I want to say damn, I don't know, Wyoming or something. I think this is Wyoming. Yeah, I want to say Wyoming, right? See that? Look at Texas, man. Texas is the biggest state in United Snakes of America. They got mass shootings going on all the time, man. Right? Even in Arkansas, right? Parts of Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, right? New York, all in these East Coast, right? Baltimore, Maryland. Hey, man, it's going down, man. Right? This stuff is happening at an all-time high. And we got to realize that. It's happening at an all-time high, man. Right? Let's get the book of 2nd Esdras, man, real quick. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, right? And it's going to pick up, man. It's going to get 10 times worse. So we got to prepare our spirits. We got to keep watch, right? Because you want to make sure that you have those angels that are going to surround you and keep you safe, because you never know. You may end up walking into some type of a mass shooting, and the Lord will have an angel that would actually protect you, and you don't get hit with bullets, man, right? This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5. Let's start at verse 1. And it says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith, right? Because we're getting ready to enter into that 5th seal, like spoken about in Revelation, where you're going to have a lot of the men of the Lord who are going to end up being slain, right? Because they're not going to denounce Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. They're going to want to keep the commandments. They don't want to conform to the ways of this wicked world, which is ran by Esau, right? You're also seeing a lot of people getting, getting shot down and taken away in great number, man, which is why it's dealing with these mass shootings, right? Let's go to verse 2. but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So iniquity has increased. Sin has risen at an all-time high. Verse 3, and the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly, right? Wasted suddenly, right? These are things that we realize, man, right? Right? Check this out, right? This sister Mina Israel, I dreamt I was in a mass shooting. I got out, but didn't know where to go from there. You see that? You see that right there? Right? And that's exactly what we just read, man. That's literally exactly what we just read, right? In the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly, because all hell is breaking loose. So you have to be prepared for these things. You have to keep watch for these things. These are perilous times, right? These are the perilous times that are been spoken about in 2 Timothy chapter 3, right? Perilous meaning troubled times, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7, right? I'm going to show you something else too. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7. And it says, their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. You see that? Because the Most High is sending a sword. The Most High is not coming to send peace, man. He's not sending Christ to send peace, but a sword. And right now we're seeing that sword on the left-hand side that's being issued throughout all four corners of the earth, to the point that our enemies and our oppressors have feet that are swift to run to do evil, right? And shed innocent blood. When you're looking at stuff like my screen again, all right? Let me share my screen again. Right? Forgive me. Salaki, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, you know what I'm saying? I got a house full of kids back here, man. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to make sure that I get myself right, man. Right? Right? When you're looking at, let's check this out, man. Let's go back to this. Right? When you're looking at stuff like this, California mass shooting 6 in month, right? Let's look at this upscale neighborhood, right? Feet running to iniquity. Look at this neighborhood right here, man. I bet Esau would have never thought that a mass shooting would happen, right, in a neighborhood like this with damn palm trees, right? Nice paved road, right? No cracks in the road, right? Hey, man, you can damn roller skate on that street, man, right? And now I have to worry about falling, right? Look at that, man. 3 people were killed and 4 others wounded in a shooting at a multi-million-dollar short-term rental home in an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood. This just happened Saturday, right? This literally just happened yesterday, about 2:30 a.m. in the Beverly Crest neighborhood. This is at least the 6th mass shooting in California this month. And why do you think the Most High is sending the spirit on the left-hand side at a high rampant pace over there in California? Hey, because California is wicked, man, right? California is wicked. It says Sergeant Frank Preciado of the Los Angeles Police Department said earlier Saturday that the 3 people killed were inside a vehicle, right? 2 of the 4 victims were taken in private vehicles to area hospitals, and 2 others were transported by ambulance, right? 2 were in critical condition, 2 were in stable condition. The ages and genders of the victims were not immediately released, right? I'm led to believe it might have been damn transmissions, man. Damn trannies, man. Right? Don't want to release the genders, right? Because, you know what I'm saying? It's like that old song, Beyonce, when she said, who run the world? Girls. Well, now we living in a time now when, you know, hey, who run the world? Sodomites, right? Because nobody's more privileged than an Edomite sodomite, right? And you have mass shootings. I think it was a mass shooting that happened over here. The one that happened over here in Seattle was at a sodomite club. Facts, right? It says I'm going to jump down. It says the mid-century home is in Beverly Crest. It says, look, a quiet neighborhood nestled in the Santa Monica Mountains where houses are large and expensive. The property estimated at $3 million is on a cul-de-sac and described in online estate platforms as modern and private with a pool and outdoor shower. It's not supposed to mass shootings, man, when you got a damn pool in your backyard, man, in an outdoor shower, man, right? But it is when the Most High is sending judgment, when the Most High is sending death and destruction. Look at this. It says last week, let's start right here. It says last weekend, 72-year-old Hu Can Tran gunned down patrons at a ballroom dance hall. I know you guys heard about that. That was a Moabite who did that, man. Right? That was a Moabite. The Most High is sending spirits on the left-hand side so strong that he literally put better eyesight on a Moabite whose eyes go sideways to open them wide to be able to see his targets and gun everybody down. You see that? You don't know what the Most High can do, man. Right? He's the creator of good and evil. He's the creator of good and evil. Right? These are things to be realized, man. Thus said the Lord. Right? Now let's get the book of let's get the book of Romans, right? Because their feet are swift to run to evil. Let's go to Romans chapter 3, verse 16, right? Romans 3, verse 16, right? The only 3:16 that Edomites and all these other wicked nations know is John 3:16, but don't even understand what that's talking about. So let's go to Romans 3 and 16, right? Right, thus said the Lord. This book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 16, and it says, destruction and misery. Matter of fact, let's start at I want to start at verse 15. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 15. Their feet are swift to shed blood, right? Verse 16. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known, right? There is no fear of God before their eyes, right? It says that destruction and misery are in their ways, right? There's nothing good about our oppressors. There is nothing good, even dealing with a lot of the wicked spirits that are also in Israelites of today who don't even know that they're Israelites. Destruction and misery are in their ways, man. Especially dealing with our oppressors. You know, they wake up, they eat, sleep, right? And poop, destruction and misery, right? Let's go to Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 47. Let's get the book of Lamentations. All right, bear with me. All right, let's go to the book of Lamentations. All right, bear with me. Chapter 3, verse 47. That's what I want. All right, bear with me, y'all. All right, like it. Bear with me. All right, let's get the book of Lamentations. Right? Chapter 3, verse 47, and it says, this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 47. Fear and a snare is come upon us, desolation and destruction. A snare is a trap, right? When you go to a grocery store and you just go into a grocery store to get some groceries for your house, then all of a sudden an Edomite comes up in there with an AR-15 and is gunning everybody down in the grocery store. That's another form of a snare, right? You're trapped in that grocery store to the point that you're not going to be able to get out. You're just going to have to literally suffer, right? Destruction, desolation, and destruction. The Most High is bringing this stuff upon the land like a snare out of nowhere. So you have to make sure that our spirits are prepared. We have to make sure that we're constantly watching, right? To warn our people. Hey, because that's our job, man, right? This is our job. Even when we come on the live stream, right? We are commanded to do these things. This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. And it says, and Jacob called unto his sons, the 12 tribes of Israel, and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. And in these last days, death and destruction and desolation can befall us if we are not warning our people, if we are not getting our spirits right, right? If we're not obtaining this knowledge and wisdom, that's literally going to be the stability of our times, right? Spoken about in Isaiah 33:6, right? These are things to realize, right? And this stuff comes on to up to you like a snare, man, like a trap. Let me share my screen, right? Let's look at some of these floods, because all hell is breaking loose in California, man. Real talk, man, right? But you know what I do know is that my brothers over there, you know what I'm saying, in WFI Bay Area, you know what I'm saying, all the other brothers that's doing the work, you know what I'm saying, in other camps, man, right down in California, right? They kind of, you know what I'm saying, they being taken care of, man, right? By the Spirit of the Most High, man. Let me share my screen. Look at this, man. Flooding in California. All right, look at this. This is no joke, man. Right? Look at this. Right? You would have thought that this was in Louisiana somewhere or down south, right? Where they get a lot of floods. It's the Most High that's doing this, man. Right? It's the Most High that's doing this. Right? Look at this. Epic flooding leads to California highway closures. Even highways are literally being flooded. Right? They got to walk around and damn, and you know, in water. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, there was floodings over there in Louisiana, right, dealing with Hurricane Katrina. And you literally had alligators that was swimming in that thing, man. Some people got eaten up by alligators, right? Look at this, man. Right? This is how you know that destruction is on its way. You know what I'm saying? People got to kind of get like plastic bags, right, and put them over their boots to keep the water from getting in their shoes, right? Look at this, man. Right? This is flooding in California. And look at Esau over here, man. Look at this, man. California rain flooding into ocean, seen by NASA from space. You didn't go to space, man. This is why the Most High is sending death and destruction. Where does it say in the scriptures, right, that the so-called white man can crack open through that sky that's strong like a molten looking glass, like spoken about in Job, I want to say 37, right? And go to damn space, man. Right? You're not going to find that. This is why that he's sending death and destruction. He's tired of the lies, and it's time for his rulership to be done for him, man. And why not start with California? The pride, like you got states like California, New York, and Texas, right? These states are the pride, right, of Babylon the Great. Look at this right here. Dramatic moment. California woman saved after she climbed a tree to escape flood, right? And the Most High is doing these type of things to prepare Esau to climb trees, because if they end up becoming slaves, those that you know that are going to end up being round up for slavery, they're going to have the gift of being and the skill of being able to climb trees, man. Right? To pick our bananas, our fruits, right? Private flood insurance and county accounts for over 40%. Look at that. Look at that. Look, that's a nice little chunk of a neighborhood that's flooded, man. Right? You see that? This is how it works, man. Right? This is exactly how it works. Right? This is, look at this right here. California sees record level flooding. See, because when you have water that just sits on the land like that, man, then eventually, you know what I'm saying, it messes up the concrete and the asphalt, right? And then you have little streets and freeways that are going to collapse, right? Because water is a strong element, right? He already promised us with the rainbow that he wasn't going to destroy the entire earth again through water. This time it's going to be through fire. Floods like this, right? What's going to come after that? Fire. You're going to have a lot of California wildfires that's going to pick up when a lot of this water ends up draining. That's exactly what's going to happen, right? These are things that we have to realize, right? And you got mass shootings everywhere. That's right. Right? Iran and the Palestinians are having mass shootings, right? That's correct, man. Right? That is correct. Right? So mass destruction is all over the place, man. Let's get the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, the classic, man. All right? Because we understand that, look, hey, judgment begins with us. You got a lot of our people that's getting shot down. We've been getting oppressed by the police, right? And understand that that 1,000 years to us is one day to the Most High. So the end times have been happening for quite some time, but we pay attention to the signs to know that we are at the fourth quarter of this thing. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? Right? So judgment is going to happen on the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So when you're looking at a lot of these natural disasters, they're happening heavily in the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. And what at least the community that Esau has literally set for us, man. Right? In the hoods. Right? Verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So, hey, this is why it's important that we have to make sure that we're doing our best to be righteous, because we barely going to make it out of this thing. That's what it says when you should scarcely be saved, right? You not cutting off your beard may be the difference of you escaping death, man, dealing with natural disasters. You not hating your brother may be the one thing that may help you escape from a mass shooting. You not eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork, right, may be the difference in you having more energy to swim out of a flood to safety, right? You really got to think about these things, man. This is why that the Most High said that these commandments are for our good. And we're also commanded to keep watch, man. We got to keep watch in this thing, because judgment's going to begin at the house of God first, the Israelites, right? Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, man. Chapter 6, right? The classic. And let's start at verse 9. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. Let's start at verse 9. And it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And Jacob, that's going to be the beginning of this world that followeth, are the ones that are going to be scarcely saved out of this thing. That are scarce, that are barely going to make it. So all the death and destruction that you're seeing here upon Esau's land, right, it's because that he is the end of the world. The Most High has to send spirits on the left-hand side to enter into the vessels of dishonor to cause death and destruction, right? Let's jump to verse, let's see. Let's jump to verse 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. Because they've hurt us as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans unjustly, right? With their unrighteousness, the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So again, right, we're still going through our affliction. We still have more affliction that we have to go through in order for this to be fulfilled. Once it's fulfilled, is when Esau is going to be the end of the world and Jacob's going to be the beginning of it that followeth. Verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, and the Most High is going to have this world vanish away through floods, mass shootings, right? Rumors of war, earthquakes, fires, forest fires, right? Shall be, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? This is why you're seeing a huge famine in the land right now. This is also signs of death and destruction literally being here and near, man. Eggs are like damn near $10, right? For a carton of eggs, man. 12 eggs, right, are now damn almost $10, man. Right? And this stuff's it's gonna get higher, man. Right? So those of you Israelites, those of you who was laughing at, at people that, Israelites that got chickens and stuff like that, man, right? Hey, they're a hot commodity right now, man. Hey, it's at the time now that a chicken is more valuable than damn paper money, man. Right? Verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Right? Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. So we're looking to see the salvation from the Most High, right? So we got to make sure the spirits are right, because the Most High is really visiting this place, right? With death and destruction, right? Now, the other news, right? I'm going to bring out this last thing. Other going on, right, is we have a rumor, again, which is going to lead to war, of Turkey leaving NATO, right? Let me share my screen. Bear with me. See that? It says 5 to 6 months. Turkey has announced that it might leave North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO. And it says within 5 to 6 months, citing the provocative actions against Ankara by the United States and its European allies, mainly Sweden. See, the Most High is sending a sword on the left-hand side to the point that he's putting a spirit in these old nasty Edomites, man, to go at each other, to break alliances with one another, right? This is how all these other empires were defeated. Dealing with the Greek Empire, right? They were defeated because they went at each other. They separated, right? So these are things that we got to understand, man. Let's get some more information on this. Let's see what it's like. What's the impact of this, man? If they actually leave NATO within 5 to 6 months, it says, what would be the consequences of Turkey leaving NATO? All possible what? Disasters. The key section of the treaty is Article 5. Its commitment clause defines the casus foederis to commit each member state to consider an armed attack against one another, right? In Europe or what? North America, to be an armed attack against them all. What type of armed attack, though? Sole nuclear umbrella. So Turkey leaving NATO within 5 to 6 months, if they actually pull themselves away from NATO, will lead to North America, Babylon the Great, literally getting an armed attack with nuclear missiles. That's how important this is. That's how bad it is for NATO, man. Right? Will NATO collapse if Turkey leaves NATO? Yes. NATO will collapse without Turkey. This is because Turkey will ally with who? Russia and China. And best believe the Russians dealing with Vladimir Putin, who's 2 seconds from pushing that button, and China, right, with Kim Jong-un, right? Hey, they can't stand America, man. And if Turkey joins allies with Russia and China, which they will do if they leave NATO, right? It says that this means major energy routes into Europe will be completely under Russian control. Today, Europe cannot stand up to Russia in Ukraine. You see that? So all of Europe can't even stand up to Russia, man. Right? This is why the Russians are actually prophesied to be the last Edomite ruling nation, like spoken about in Revelation. Right? And so this is a big thing, man. This is a big thing. Right? What are the benefits of Turkey being in NATO? While Turkey understands its value to NATO, right, it also sees its own benefit in its membership, analysts say. Ankara has gone to NATO more than once for strategic security support, said Oljan, right? The Mossad is not dealing, right, with a man named Oljan, man, right? Where are the scriptures where our mighty forefathers named Oljan, right? This is madness. It is a security and political relationship that is mutually beneficial. You see that? So Turkey leaving NATO, if this really goes down, right, that takes a lot of, that's going to mess with literally the United States of America's security. Not only the security, but the political relationship. Because, the Most High is literally, like spoken about in Joel chapter 3, right? He said that he's literally putting the spirit to make the weak say that they are strong. So these other nations, right, that didn't have weapons of mass destruction, guess what? They got them now. And all their missiles are aimed towards America because this place, Babylon the Great, is set to be destroyed completely, right? These are things we got to realize. So we got to keep watch 5 to 6 months from now if this thing's really going to go down, if Turkey's going to leave NATO. I'm led to believe it's going to happen. I'm led to believe it's going to happen. Right? At the Lord. We got to realize these things. Right? Let's get a few precepts on this, man. We're going to wrap this up. Right? Matter of fact, let's go back to 2nd Esdras chapter. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Right? The classic. And let's start at verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So when you're seeing rumors of Turkey getting ready to leave NATO, when you're still seeing Russia attacking Ukraine, when you're still seeing China going against Taiwan, right? Or, you know what I'm saying, which is literally Moabite on Moabite crime, right? Hey, these are the times, these are the signs that Christ gave us in the past, man, right? So we got to measure these times diligently that we're living in itself, man. Right? Stop thinking that this temporary dominion is going to continue forever. No, it's on its way to be done for, man. Real talk. Therefore, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and what? Uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from what? The beginning, which is why in Romans 9, which we read first, that he created a vessel for honor and a vessel for dishonor. That vessel for dishonor being these nasty, stinking Edomites, man, right? Made them vessels of dishonor fitted for destruction, right? So us as Israelites, we got to separate from our enemies. We have to gather together, right? And become that vessel of honor that we were created, because all hell is breaking loose. All hell is breaking loose when eggs are $32 for a dozen in Vegas, man. Right? It's going to go up even higher, man. Right? I'm led to believe pretty soon it's going to be damn near $20 just for a gallon of gas. Right? These are, and what's going to happen when this happens? It's going to be an uproar of the people, man. Mass shootings that we were talking about earlier. That's uproars of the people, right? Earthquakes in diverse places, right? Because you had a lot of earthquakes that have been happening in California over the past few years. And when you're dealing with earthquakes, that literally takes it throws, right, the core off course to the point that, hey, you're going to have floodings in California like we're seeing, right? Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So you've seen all these rulerships and dominions that have a beginning and then they have an end, right? But we know that the last rulership and dominion of the Israelites is going to last forever, which is why that Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? And it says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the sad perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So it's through your works and faith if you're going to escape if a mass shooting happens in your neighborhood. It's through your works and faith that you'll be able to not be affected by floods. It's through your works and faith, right? When Turkey decides to leave NATO 5 to 6 months from now, right? That you'll be beamed up out of here before missiles come and drop here in Babylon the Great. That's how important it is, right? So if you're a man in this, man, you got to get out there on the highways and hedges. You got to gather amongst your brothers, man, right? You got to realize these things, man. There are brothers that are not even in camps, man, that still go and gather amongst other brothers, man, that do the work. Right? All this stuff is important. Thus said the Lord, man. Right? Look at the book of Proverbs. I got about 4 more. Look at the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 12. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 12. And it says, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. So we got to basically humble ourselves down in order to receive honor, which is receiving that kingdom, which is receiving the inheritance, of slaves, right? And guess what? Before destruction, right, the heart of man has to be haughty. And the heart of the wicked man has been haughty, man. Through rape, robbery, slavery, and murder, man. That's why destruction is coming upon, right, this earth suddenly. And death is surrounded everywhere. Because the Most High has death angels, man. Right? Let's get the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 19. Right? Bear with me. Let's go to the book of Philippians, right? Chapter 3, verse 19. And it says, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. Right? So their end is nothing but destruction, those who mind earthly things. Right? And our oppressors, he minds the earthly things. Right? He takes pride in his nasty buildings, man, that still look like the buildings from the Caucasus Mountains, right? He takes pride, right, in his gasoline, right? There's not going to be gas. Most times not dealing with gasoline in this kingdom, man, right? And guess what, man? The end of Babylon the Great is going to be destruction. There's nothing that you can do about it, man. Thus said the Lord, man. Because at the end of the day, when you got Turkey that's wanting to leave NATO, right? These are signs of nations being divided against each other. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It's the book of Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus, knew their thoughts and said unto them, see, Yahushua knows the thought of our enemies, man. This is why that he said that I have come not to send peace, but a sword, right? Let's see their thoughts. It says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So when you're looking at Turkey talking about they're going to leave NATO in 5-6 months, right? Hey, now NATO's divided against each other, man. So NATO's not going to stand. The EU's not going to stand. Modern day Rome is not going to stand. Babylon the Great is not going to stand. Just like the Greeks didn't stand, right? Just like ancient Babylon, the Egyptians, right? The Medieval Persians, the Greeks, right? The Romans, right? Now we're seeing modern day Rome, Babylon the Great. Hey, they're not going to be, they're divided against themselves, man. So there's nothing that you can do about it as far as seeing the destruction that's taking place in our eyes, man. All you have to do is to continue to do the works, have faith in the Most High through his son Christ, man, right? And Lord willing, man, you'll barely make it up out of this thing, right? Let's go to the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8, right? Because this stuff is happening for a reason, right? And we're going to end it with this, right? Let's go to the book of Obadiah, right? Chapter 1, right? Whenever Esau pisses you off, just go in the secret place and go read the book of Obadiah, right? Hell, read it in front of him, right? I remember I did that one time at work. An old job I used to work for, man. I used to have to deliver, not deliver. I used to have to drive, like, you know what I'm saying, like handicapped Edomites to the damn VA hospital, right? And I remember this one nasty Shedemite lady, right? She didn't like the fact that the GPS was taking me, you know what I'm saying, to pass all the traffic. It was taking me on a back road. And I hit the left. She was like, nah, don't go in that back road. I'm calling the cops. Oh, you're just a thug. Call me a thug. And I'm being calm. But then she just kept on going, right? She just kept on going. So when I got at a stoplight, I busted out the book of Obadiah, right? And I started at verse 18. I just started reading the Bible. Whoa, she got mad. But it felt good, though. You feel me? This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? Right? Hey, the Most High is destroying the wisdom out of the Edomites, man. Turkey leaving NATO, right? That's the sign of him destroying the knowledge and understanding. Because NATO doesn't have the understanding that if they literally leave, but Turkey doesn't have the understanding no more if they literally leave NATO, that is going to put North America in harm's way, right? That all hell is going to break loose. And understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, right? This is shall be dismayed. That's dealing with the so-called white man's, right, government military system, man, right? Hey, they're going to be dismayed. They're going to be dismayed. This is why they're going to war right now. There's rumors of wars. To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Well, when we're dealing with the mount of Esau, it's chiefly dealing with the high rulership of Edomites, man, that run this wicked government, man, right? They're going to be cut off by slaughter because they're going to be the ones that's going to be calling the shots to send missiles, to send planes, drones, tanks, OT mine, right? Their military might on ground, right? Why though are they going to be cut off by slaughter? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, right? And thou shalt be cut off forever, right? Shame's going to be able to cover them, man. This is shame when you're seeing mass shootings, when you're seeing flooding in California, and Turkey having rumors of leaving NATO, right? And this is right. Biden is too old to understand, right? Biden has no clue what's going on, right? Biden has no clue what's going on. This is why I'm not going to be surprised, man. I will not be surprised if we even get to the time where it gets to the next election that Donald Trump is going to end up being reelected. That Donald Trump's going to end up being reelected, right? Don't be surprised, right? We got to pay attention to these things, man. Thus saith the Lord. And we are seeing death and destruction. And guess what, y'all? It's here. So that being said, giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Shem HaMashiach Komalak Yahushai. This is Brother Zamran, right? Watchman for Israel, Seattle. I want to say shalom to everybody who in the chat. Mina Israel, Hebrew daughter, Felicia Cox, my brother Jerry Dawson, JD, right? Shalom WFI Trinidad, man, right? Mighty Brothers of the Lord, man, right? Brandon Allen, right? Up on the score beats, Shalom. Jackson Williams, right? Dennis Robbins, Shalom, King. Willina, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Slim D, Shalom. My brother Finesse Jackson, Shalom, Shalom. Nelia Mission, Shalom, Shalom, right? Anthony Knox, Phyllis Joseph, right? Fat Man's Fighting Channel, Love Pierce, right? And everybody else who chimed in. I want to say shalom to you guys. Shalom, my brother Rock Chazak Israel, man. That's my brother right there. Mighty brother of WFI Detroit. Shalom, shalom, man. Right? And with that being said, I'm going to end this with a huge Kwam Yasharallah, Kwam Yasharallah, Kwam Yasharallah.